Hello lovies, look at this texture. This is just so good. So I mean just so many things. So I'm just finishing it up and I thought I'd just turn on the camera and go for it. I didn't do a voiceover for this, or I'm not going to do a voiceover. I just don't have time. It has been, I just want to say thank you so much for all your orders. I'm blown away. Just completely blown away. And I think I'm close to having everything done, which it took me a week, which never does. Me and 2 assistants. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. And I just put my word down, and it says find beauty in the ordinary, and we'll talk about that in a second. Put that down with my matte medium, and I'm just going to shade the edges, and I'll talk through this here. So I layered it up nice on this piece. It felt like that's what it needed, and that's just kind of a calming place, that because it takes time, and it's just soothing to me. But in the background I put my papers down and I cut them in squares because I wanted that kind of texture, and I overlapped them. I was trying to get as much texture as possible. And then so I put those down with matte medium, and then I came back over that with modeling paste, with gesso, and with crackle paint. And typically I always mix my modeling paste and my gesso, but I didn't do it for this background because the modeling paste has a different texture than the gesso. And so I wanted all of those different textures, the crackle, the gesso, because when you start pulling that paint back, it really shows up all those different textures. And that's what I wanted. So that's what I did in the background. And then I just layered my trees, and I used the 2 trees stencils, tree 1 and tree 2, and all the supplies will be listed on the blog. And I did the little ones for the backs first, but as I was doing it, I kind of hit them with my heat tool to not completely dry them, but to kind of dry them to touch, so that when I went back and put the rest of the trees in, then I wouldn't mess it up. And so I did mix my gesso and my modeling paste for the trees because I wanted that thickness and this consistency of the texture and the whiteness and chalkiness of the gesso. So I did mix modeling paste and gesso for that. Added that down here, and this down here, to me, originally I thought it would just be like the ground, but it kind of looks like water and snow falling on the water. And I thought, ooh, I love that. I'm like, yeah, I love it when those kinds of things happen. And this isn't quite dry to get it completely shaded, but I'll shade that. And you'll see it in the pictures. But so this week it has, I mean, just seriously craziness, crazy town, with shows, with custom orders, with it's just that time of the year. It's just how it goes. And I am in my studio usually for, well, this week I was in the studio for about 15 hours a day, maybe more. And I would see my husband kind of passing in the night. But I was on my way to drop off orders, which I do every day. And there was this, it was snowing. The weather turned really yucky here. It's yucky to me. My husband loves it. And it was snowing, and it was really, really gray. And I looked out into one of the fields that's by my house, and the colors were just, I don't remember what time of day it was, if it was towards the end of the day or whatever, but there was like this purple haze. There. Okay, so the camera died. So back to my story. I was talking about this purple haze. I looked out into this field and there was all the trees and there was some snow on the ground and the snow was falling and it just took my breath away. And I so needed that. I love it when that happens, when the divine happens and it just fills you with what you need at the exact moment. And I needed that. I was so unbelievably exhausted. It has been 2 months of a non-stop pace, and I just was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And I had to stop, and I stopped, and I said some prayers and some thankful thanksgivings, sent them up, and just rested for a second. And it was just what I needed to continue on. And that's what I feel like finding beauty in the ordinary is all about. It's a balm to our soul. And I think we need it more than we realize. And because especially right now, the season is just so busy. There's just so many things to do. And family can be a stressor. There's being alone at the holidays, that can be just overwhelming. There's so many things. There's, if you've had loss around the holidays and that kind of thing. And I want to encourage you in this season, even in the hardest places, even in your busiest times, to pause. I'm telling you, we go at such a breakneck pace. Our lifestyles are so crazy. If you could just pause for a second and have some silence, and find the beauty in your space, in your world, in your drive, in your studio, wherever it might be. Find that beauty and let it fill you up and give you rest and give you healing and give you strength and give you courage, so that you can continue on in whatever area, time, season you're in. And that's what happened for me this week. And I'm incredibly grateful for that time, for finding that, for being present. And I am so incredibly grateful for all of you. I am completely overwhelmed by the response to the holiday sale. I was totally unprepared, but we did it. The girls and I, my 2 assistants, and we will have all of the orders out by the time you see this. Yay! And again, I hope that you got some good things, and I'm so thankful, so thankful for all of you and for your love and your encouragement. And I'm going to stop babbling and go take a nap. Anyway, I hope that your Sunday is awesome. I hope that you find the beauty in the ordinary, in your everyday world. And I hope that you always know that you are loved.